Hello, good morning. It's Friday the 29th. I'm FX Blue and this is the market brief. So the global supply chain shortage of semiconductors, that continues to have an effect. Spare parts manufacturers are struggling and car sales are also down. That fell by 14.3% to its lowest level since 1998. And while supply issues have been blamed, this drop in sales will also be coupled with the fears over high and rising inflation. The higher cost of living will of course deter many from making a significant financial commitment to a whizzy new set of wheels. Meanwhile, in Parliament, discussions continue about whether Sunak should impose a windfall tax on the energy companies. Their profits have been increasing while the public endure higher prices. And indeed, it's a similar story with the supermarkets too, so we'll have to see how that one develops. In the market, meanwhile, there hasn't been too much data to consider this week, so the Bank of England rate decision next week, at the moment, is far from certain. Sentiment still favours a rate hike, but there are some calling for 50 basis points to really reiterate the MPC's commitment to fighting inflation. Indeed, a 25% basis point rate hike may be termed a dovish hike, and would underline the sentiment that the Bank of England is really stuck between a rock and a hard place at the moment. Sentiment for the Fed meeting is much more certain, and this has seen the dollar surge this week. Sterling fell to 124.10 against the dollar yesterday. That's the lowest level we've seen since July 2020. We opened at 125.15 this morning, and we're around 118.80 against the euro. The US economy delivered a surprise yesterday. Q1 growth data showed the economy contracted by 1.4%. That's when forecasts were up for 1% growth. Normally, that would trigger a bit of a dollar sell-off over rekindled fears of a US recession. But we're so close to the Fed meeting next week and that expected 50 basis point rate hike that the dollar actually moved higher on the day. And indeed, the higher the dollar goes, the more likely it is that we'll see a correction after the Fed meeting next week. The dollar does look a little overbought at the moment, so there may well be a little sell-off after the policy action is confirmed. However, many will stay in their long positions though, because don't forget, Non-Farm Friday will follow. And that's always good for a punch, right? We'll certainly be having the sweepstake. For now, though, the dollar index rose once again. It's challenging 104. We topped out at 103.95 yesterday. And a euro dollar opens this morning down around 105.50. So that's it for another week. Hope you have a great weekend ahead and do join me again on Monday.
If you do not have a clue, then just tweet through and ask FX Blue.